Simon & Schuster Audio presents Spoken from the Heart by Laura Bush. Read by the author.
Through the nursery glass. What I remember is the glass. It was a big solid pane, much bigger than our little rectangles at home, which sat perched one on top of the other. I can still picture that window and the way it seemed to float on the wall without any curtains or wood. Beyond the glass was the nursery, where they kept the babies. I don't remember looking at a baby. In my mind there's only the window, although my brother, John Edward Welch, is lying on the other side of the glass. It's June of 1949 in Midland, Texas, and I'm 2.5 years old. I do not remember if I stood on my tiptoes or if my father held me, smelling as he often did of strong coffee and unfiltered cigarettes. He would have dressed me himself that morning in a pretty cotton dress that my grandmother had made. She made almost all of my clothes, choosing her own cute patterns and fabrics, sewing them on her old treadle Singer sewing machine, the needle clacking up and down as she pumped the pedal with her foot. Whatever scraps her scissors had left behind, she would take and carefully turn into matching doll dresses. Then she'd bundle them up a few at a time and mail them from El Paso to Midland. Later, when the ranchers' daughters and the oil men's girls were riding with their mothers on the train into Dallas to buy their first school dresses, pink or ruffled, with white lace or pert satin bows, at Neiman Marcus or Young Ages, my grandmother was still posting her cotton creations for me on the mail train from El Paso. Although the Western Clinic was less than 10 blocks from our little house on Estes Avenue, with its hint of a front porch and postage stamp yard, where the grass was continually battling drought and dust, we would have driven there in my father's Ford. I had been born on November 4th, 1946, at the same little Western Clinic, a one-story building, concrete and cinder block, with rows of decorative thick block glass and thin windows. It was built over a decade earlier in the lean years of the 1930s, when Midland was a town of some 9,000 people. But by 1949, Midland was closing in on 22,000 people, and Western Clinic was still...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?